找工作的环境太卷了。
现在待业嘛，可能每做一天，这种顾虑都会又增加一分哈。
What if we told you that China spends at least 1.3% of its GDP on one specific industry? And adding to that fact, China keeps promoting this industry in spite of the collapse of its other industries. So, which industry does the CCP keep promoting and why? China's military sector has seen significant changes over time, influenced by historical events, ideological movements, and geopolitical pressures. Ever since the People's Republic of China was established in 1949, the Chinese Communist Party has prioritized the construction of a strong military infrastructure to protect its interests and assert its power both domestically and internationally. During the PRC's early years, China relied substantially on Soviet aid for military technology and equipment. However, the Sino-Soviet split in the late 1950s caused a rift in relations, pushing China to take its own course in military development. The chaotic Cultural Revolution further interrupted China's military modernization efforts. But by the late 1970s, under Deng Xiaoping's leadership, China had begun economic reforms and globalization, which had repercussions for its military industry. The economic reforms begun by Deng Xiaoping in the late 1970s had a significant impact on China's defense industry. As China shifted from a centrally planned economy to a more market-oriented structure, it attempted to modernize its defense capabilities by capitalizing on economic development and technological advancements. So what has caused this fast economic expansion in China? It is expected that the defense budget will increase. Now let us look at some statistics. According to publicly accessible data, China's military spending has been around 1.3% of its GDP in recent years, which is quite low when compared to other major military countries and the global average. According to Reuters, U.S. President Joe Biden signed into law the fiscal 2024 National Defense Authorization Act in December 2023, authorizing a record $886 billion in yearly military spending, roughly 4 times China's defense budget in 2023. According to NATO data, the United States military expenditure as a percentage of GDP was 3.49% in 2023, while the guideline value for NATO countries is 2%. These are also much higher than China's figure of around 1.3%. China's defense budget will increase by 7.2% in 2024, according to a government declaration made on March 5th during the second annual session of the 14th National People's Congress. The new spending increase comes as the Chinese economy continues to face headwinds and the government prepares to tighten fiscal policy. Rather than a significant stimulus push, the official fiscal year 2024 spending objective indicates 3.8% year-on-year growth, or just more than half of the anticipated rise for defense. The year-on-year increase in China's military budget indicates a steady 3-year period in which the budget has grown at a rate of 7% each year, higher than economic growth. Year-on-year budgetary growth in 2022 was 7.4%, while economic growth slowed to 3% due to COVID outbreaks and associated mitigation efforts. The 2023 defense budget aimed for a similar 7.2% increase to 2024, with GDP increasing faster for the year, but still coming in just above 5%, well behind the 7% plus expansions of the pre-COVID years. There is one specific institution that lays down the groundwork for military development in China. The 208th Institute is an important research institution in China that concentrates on developing tiny weapons such as firearms and rifles for both the military and police. They focus on developing, testing, and enhancing these weapons in order to make them more dependable and effective. They stay current with cutting-edge technology and contribute to China's military capability by partnering with others in the defense industry. How is China's military different from the US and Japan? The defense industry base in Japan is functioning in a wartime environment, whereas the defense industrial base in the United States is mostly operating in a peacetime environment. Overall, the United States defense industrial ecosystem lacks the capacity, responsiveness, flexibility, and burst capability to satisfy the military's production and warfighting requirements. Unless significant adjustments are made, the United States risks losing deterrence and eroding its warfighting capabilities. China is investing extensively in munitions and obtaining advanced military systems and equipment at a 5 to 6 times higher rate than the United States. China is also the world's largest shipbuilder, with a shipbuilding capacity nearly 230 times greater than the United States. One of China's largest shipyards, Jiangnan Shipyard, has more capacity than all U.S. shipyards combined. What are the advancements that are being brought about by the CCP in the military? Despite economic downturns in many areas, China's defense industry continues to grow fast. This expansion is driven by both domestic and international sources. Domestically, the Chinese Communist Party emphasizes military modernization and self-reliance, which drives enormous investment in defense capabilities. This includes advances in cyber warfare, space technology, artificial intelligence, and the development of modern weapons, such as fighter jets and missile systems. China has been working hard to strengthen its military. Their cyber warfare entails both attacking and defending online, which concerns other nations. In space, they've launched satellites and even developed weapons to combat satellites. They also use smart computers to make tactical decisions during fights, such as flying drones and operating vehicles. China is also developing a wide range of new weapons, including planes, ships, and missiles. All of this makes China a major actor in international affairs. Their actions in places like the South China Sea can worry other countries, particularly the United States and its allies. China is also building infrastructure around the world through its Belt and Road Initiative. This could benefit their military by providing sites to base soldiers or obtain resources. But what are the issues they are facing? Despite its progress, China's military sector faces major internal challenges. Bribery and other dishonest behaviors undermine discipline and morale. This can make it more difficult for the military to be prepared for action when needed. Another issue is a lack of transparency and accountability in how China acquires military weapons. Sometimes the equipment is inadequate, such as malfunctioning missiles or other problems. This demonstrates the need for more control and reforms in how things are done. China also relies on foreign countries for some of its military equipment. This can be problematic if such countries cut off supplies or if the parts are of poor quality. China wants to rely more on its own technology, but this is difficult due to issues such as who owns ideas, how to retain brilliant employees, and international sanctions. China will most likely continue its trend of modestly increasing its defense budget in 2024, prompted by the country's need for military modernization, the challenging security environment, and the recovering economic situation. What are your thoughts on this? Leave your comments below and do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more.